Hey ladies, welcome to Speak Life Podcast with Lex. I'm so excited that you stopped in. This is a place where we talk about all the things from real life topics to daily struggles and topics that most people don't want to talk about. Before we dive in, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and follow us on all the socials, which is Speak Life Project _ to keep up with all the things that's happening around here. Today, I'd like to talk about the glow up. And I know that we've all heard that saying that the glow up is real. And what does that really mean? So I'm going to unpack that a little bit because I really feel like it's so important for us as ladies to focus on the glow up. So, for example, the way that I can explain it in a more practical way, and then I'm going to apply it to what I'm trying to say, is imagine someone in like middle school or high school. They're going through that awkward growth stage where they look a little ratchet, and you don't really realize that until you're older, and then you go back and look at pictures and you're like, man, that was not it. So all of a sudden you see that person now as an adult and you're like, whoa, the glow up is real. Like that girl, the glow up, she literally went from like this awkward stage looking so unattractive to like this beautiful, flourishing, glowing woman. And you're like, wow, the glow up is real. So that's like an example to be able to understand in that way, like in a practical way. But what I'm talking about is the glow up in our lives from a inside out way. So we can look good on the outside, but on the inside, you can be the meanest, ugliest, have the hardest of hearts. And so that's what I want to say with the glow up, because one thing that we should always be doing in life is growing. And if you're not growing and you're staying in the same place, there's something that's hindering the growth. And so instead of calling it growing up, I'm trying to make it sound a little different by saying the glow up, because it sounds a little more, like, ooh, I want that. I want some of that. I want that glow up. And if you think about it, the Bible talks about how we're supposed to be the light of the world. Like we're supposed to shine in the dark places. We're supposed to bring Jesus wherever we go. But we can't do that if on the inside we're one way and the outside we're showing another to those around us. So I want to talk about the glow up and how we together as ladies can make sure that we're growing in the things of God, growing in a way that is going to reflect Jesus to those around us, glowing to the point that others around us are like, I want some of that. I can tell that you're growing. I can tell there's something different about you. So is the glow up real in your life? That's the question today. So for me personally, I guess you could say that through life circumstances and situations that happened to me, there was a point in my life where I decided to kind of like hold on to that, cling on to those things. And I wore it as part of my identity. So whenever someone would try to speak into my life and I didn't like it, I would turn to this point where I'm like, yeah, but you don't know what I've been through. You don't understand. You won't ever understand. So I almost became a victim because I'm like, you don't understand what I've been through. So it gave me permission to act the way that I was acting. But even though I would feel like I was in control when it came to that, because that was probably why I was acting in that way, because I didn't want to let go. I didn't want to face what I went through. So even though I was operating in that, it was showing and revealing that there was something that I was stuck in because I didn't want to let go and I didn't want to face the things that I had been through. So I wore it as my identity, and it was spilling it all over in different places of my life, in my relationships, everywhere that I went. So much so that I always ended up like self-sabotaging friendships and self-sabotaging opportunities that I could have walked in because I would not let go. So I said all to say is a lot of times in our lives, life may have started off real wrong, where you're like, I don't understand why this happened to me. I didn't have a fair chance. So-and-so, they grew up in a family that loved them, that didn't abandon them, or that wasn't so dysfunctional like mine. And so you start to compare, and then you start to turn into this like, woe, poor is me. But I want to say this today to you ladies, because I feel like it's so important to know each and every one of us, we have a story to tell, and each and every one of us, we have gone through something in life. But one thing that you got to remember is that the thing that you've gone through in life, you cannot let that thing define you and define where you're going. So if you can get that through, get that through your head and understand that what you've been through should not define where you're going. It should not define who you are. But if you can listen to this today and say, hey, yes, I've been through some things. My life started off wrong, but today I choose to say that my life isn't going to end in that way. I'm going to make sure that my life is yielded to God. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to continue to grow. I'm not going to get to the place where I'm not teachable anymore. If you can get to that place, then I'm telling you that you'll begin to see areas in your life flourish. You'll become unstuck in some places because you're choosing to be teachable, you're choosing to grow, and you're choosing to let go of the past. Because if you can't let go of the past, that thing will drag you back every single time. And I'm speaking from experience. So here I am trying to hold on to this identity of what was done to me instead of saying, hey, yeah, those things happen. Life may have started off wrong. All these situations and things were done to me. But you know what? I know who God is. And because of that, I'm going to make sure that I do the opposite and walk in a different way than I did in the past. And so until I was able to cut that off and take off that victim mentality and take off that old nature, because that wasn't even me anymore, right? What your past was is in the past for a reason. You don't have to wear that identity today, because if you're listening to this, I want you to know that if you know who God is and you have accepted him in your life, you're a daughter of God. You're a daughter of the King. And so with that, you're a new creation in him, and you don't have to wear that old thing anymore. So the minute that you let that thing go, the thoughts of the past, the mentality of the past, break off that victim mentality of like, man, you don't know what I've been through. Maybe I don't know what you've been through with your certain situation, but I can understand from a place of your past dragging you down. So let go of the past today so you can live in the present, and then you can change the trajectory for your future. So when I finally came to grips, man, I'm really broken and I'm allowing my past to spill into my now. And because of that, it's affecting all the areas of my life. I had a crossroads. I could have chose to continue down that path or I had a choice to let that go and to face all the things. The only way you're going to grow is if you face reality. If you can't face reality and you keep living a lie and accepting a lie, because sometimes we'll create this narrative in our minds of our lives because we cannot take the past, so much so it hurts so bad that we're if we could just create what we want our life to be, then you begin to walk in this lie, live this lie, believe this lie, and then you convince others to believe that lie about you. I've seen so many people that believe in their own lies that they created because they don't want to ever confront the past. But until I was able to come to reality and say, okay, this is what it is. This is what I've been through. I'm acting like this because of what I've been through, but I'm choosing to stay here because I don't want to face the past. So one day when I began to realize all these things, I was like, man, people have been trying to tell me all these years, and I just chose to ignore it because I wanted to believe my own lie. It was too much for me to face it. But one thing that I didn't try and I didn't realize at the time is that God can walk through that situation with you. He could walk through you facing the past and the things that you haven't confronted. So the minute that I realized that, and I realized that God can help me face these things, that's when I knew I didn't have to do it alone. So I began to face the things from my past. I began to confront some situations and confront things in my life that I knew I had to let go in order to grow. And I didn't do it all at once. I did it one by one because it was too much to do it all at once. So I would begin to confront things one by one, and I'd say, Lord, I can't take this. I need you to help me. Long story short, over time, I began to grow and I began to move forward, and my understanding and the revelation that I would have of my life at that time, it was just so different than before. I didn't feel so stuck anymore. And so I said all I have to say is, until you can realize that you are stuck for a reason, that you're not growing because there's some dead things in your life that you need to confront, I encourage you today that you can do it, but you don't have to do it alone. You could do it with God. He'll help you to get through those rough things, those rough patches, those maybe those tormenting thoughts from the past or the tormenting visions of things that you've been through. I'm telling you, he will help you get through that. And then you'll be able to let those things go. Not let the enemy condemn you anymore with that. Not let the enemy bring up your past anymore. Because one thing that he does to torment us, if you don't confront the past, is he'll try to like drill that thing in your mind. Like, everyone's going to know. Or if you tell everyone, they're going to think this about you. He'll just continue to remind you. He's the accuser of the brethren. So he accuses you. He tries to bring up your past to the point that you just think that you're this horrible person and you stay there. But I'm telling you today that if you can confront the past stuff, the situations, the circumstances, the thoughts, the things that you've been through, if you confront those things and you actually bring it to the light and not keep it hidden, it actually does the opposite of what the enemy tries to tell you is going to take place when you reveal it. It does the opposite. You bring it to the light. So he no longer has a foothold into your life to bring those things up. So when I began to share the past with people that I trusted and begin to talk about what I've been through and share my whole life and begin to share the testimony of my life, that's when those tormenting thoughts stopped, because I literally unarmed the enemy. He didn't have anything to hold on me anymore, because I revealed the past. I revealed the things that I was going through, the things that were done to me, the things that I did. And so it was so freeing, so freeing. The way that I felt is so unexplainable until you go through it. And so I'm so passionate about this, about growing and the glow up from the inside out, because you can act one way on the outside, and there's only so long that you could put on an act, that you could be fake. I could spot a phony and a fake person's real quick because I've done that. I've been there, done that. I've walked it out to where I tried to act one way on the outside, but in the inside I was dying. And so you don't want to be that person, because especially the generation that's raising up right now, they can spot fake people from a mile away, and you don't want to be that person. If we're supposed to be help raising up the next generation, we can't be fake, because they're not going to want to trust you. They're not going to want to come near you if you're being a hypocrite. So if we can work on the glow up and work from the inside out, then we'll begin to impact those around us and not have anything that we have to try to maintain, to be fake, on the outside by the lies and stuff that we may have believed. So began to share my testimony, unarmed the enemy. He had nothing in my life that he could bring up, because I put it all out there. And I allowed the Lord to do an open heart surgery on me. I allowed him to heal those inner parts that I didn't want to touch with anything, because I was so afraid of feeling that hurt again. But here I am today, able to testify, able to tell you ladies that you could do the same thing, because I was able to overcome. And I'm telling you, if I could do it, girl, you could do it too. And I'm so passionate, like I said, about this subject, because I was weighed down for so many years. I felt like I was locked up in a prison without the key. Like, the key was right there in my face, but I didn't know what to do with it, And so I'm here to tell you today that for the glow up to take place, for you to be unrecognizable in the years to come from others around you, like, whoa, you were here and all of a sudden you're here, you're flourishing, you're thriving. I want to be like you. How can I get to that place? In order for you to pour into others with that and get to the point of having that glow up, you have to start from the confronting the things within that is not right with God. And so we all know that saying as well. We've seen that meme where it says you could drink all the water, you could do all the workouts, you can eat all the healthy food, get all the rest, do all the things that you think is good for your body. But if you are not right within, then you're not right with him. And I'm going to say that again. If you're not right within, then you're not right with him. And so that's my heart with this whole podcast today, is to talk about the glow up and how you can change from the inside out. Because it's so crucial for us ladies to do a soul work, do some stuff inside, make sure we're renewing our minds, doing all the different things in the word, so that we're able to come from a place and flow from a place of not hurt, but from a place of wholeness, a place of healing and not brokenness. So I wanted to say this real quick before we end. I wanted to say the things that can hinder the glow up, and then I'll give you a few tips on things that can help the glow up. So the things that can hinder the glow up is not having a root system, not having a place that you belong, not having somewhere that's pouring into you and you being able to get plugged in to pour into others, which is a local church. That's going to hinder your growth, not having a place that you can plug into. Not having a community to serve in and be poured into. That's what I basically just said with the root system. And I said, little foxes that spoil the vine. What does that mean? Little foxes that spoil the vine are distractions. So what are you taking in? What comes in will come out. So if there's little things that you're doing secretly or that you're allowing in your life, or a little compromise here, a little compromise there, those are the little foxes that will spoil the vine, that will spoil the whole glow up. And those are the things that you need to be careful with, the little things of lies that you believe, little seeds that are planted from other people, the little foxes that spoil the vine. You have to get rid of those things in order to make sure that the glow up is going. And then the last thing I put is choosing who we surround ourselves with. A few episodes ago, I talked about that because it's crucial to our growth and our development in the glow up. So be mindful of that. And then a few things that we could do to shine from the inside out is spending time in his presence. And I say that all the time because literally that's going back to the foundations, is spending time in God's presence, spending time in his word, getting to know who you are in Christ, reading his word. And that's how you're going to get to grow, because you're going to get to you come in his presence and you get to a place where you're refreshed, you're renewed. You get to a place where you're learning the characteristics of God. And as you take in the characteristics of God, we're a reflection of him, right? And so we begin to reflect those things that we're reading because the word is alive. And as we begin to read that, it just feeds our soul. It feeds our heart. It feeds our minds. And like I said, what comes in comes out. So if we're feeding ourselves with the word that's alive, then that's what's going to begin to come out. So I hope that this whole thing is encouraging you. I know that when I begin to really focus on the glow up, it was hard in the beginning, but then it became easier and easier as I relied on God and I didn't try to do it in my own strength. And he began to help me face the past one step at a time. And now I'm looking back, probably it's been about a 4-year journey of that, of being intentional and being diligent with focusing on the things of my past and healing from past wounds. So here I am 4 or 5 years later, and I am flourishing, blooming where I'm planted because I chose to face the past, overcome it, heal, and now I'm able to pour into others and help them overcome the very things that I was able to overcome. And that's what the Lord wants to do in your life. He wants to create a ripple effect. You heal, you let go of the past, and you heal and move on. And now you can help other people overcome in those specific areas. Next thing you know, we're going to be shining from the inside out, and the glow up is going to be real to you, and not only to those that you see around you, but to you as well. So I'm going to pray us out, and remember that the glow up is real. So Lord, I just pray for each and every girl that's on here. I pray that they would understand, that they would have a revelation through understanding that when they're able to confront the past with you, that they don't have to do it alone, first of all. But second of all, that they unarm the enemy in the very thing that he tries to lie to them about with their story and with their past. I pray that you would give them the courage, give them the boldness to confront the things from the past, to be able to heal and to move on and to live in the now, and not what was, but in the now, to be able to walk in all that you have for them in the future, Father. And I just pray that all those little foxes that may be spoiling their vine, all the things that's distracting them, all the things that's bringing them down, that's keeping them stuck, I just pray that those things would be uprooted in the name of Jesus. And I thank you for all that you're going to do in these ladies' lives as they begin to walk fully in the things that you have for them. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to speak life always, and I will catch you next week. Bye.